What do you think is a joke that would be too serious?
Let me take you in the shed.
wait.
In the Shed.
Nah, you kind of just get right into it because if you think about it too much, that's when you get stuck. This is the In the Shed podcast. Welcome to the In the Shed podcast. We're here. We did it. And, what else is there more to say? A lot of work was put into this. A lot of weeks, a lot of months, a lot of planning, a lot of consulting with a lot of people, a lot of close people. Without them, it wasn't possible. So let's get it out the way. Shout out Joanna, JoJo. Without her, could have never been possible. Shout out H.O.P. Shout out 8-1 plus M2. Really great consultant there. Without them, would have never been possible again. And all these weeks, all these months, kind of planning it, thinking about it, writing notes, kind of how do you start this? And then you get here and you kind of like blank a little. But it's like Mike Tyson said, everyone has a plan until you get punched in the face. Everyone has a plan until you hit record. And then all plans are out the window or out the shed. You kind of hit a dead end, Anyways, enough of that. When was the last time you guys read a book? Ask yourself that question. Was it in high school? Was it a couple years ago? Was it last week? Was it last year? When was the last time you finished a book, you opened a book, you read a page of a book? And if it was a long time ago, maybe we should fix that and do something about that. I feel like the camera is crooked. Is it crooked? I don't know if that fixed it much. I don't know if that did much, but I hope it did. Maybe we could insert like an ad break when I just stepped away. So insert ad break when I was gone for those couple of seconds fixing the camera. Welcome everyone to the In the Shed podcast. Just so you guys know, the In the Shed podcast is actually sponsored by the In the Shed podcast. Without them, this would have never been possible. So make sure you guys go support the In the Shed podcast because without them, we wouldn't be here weekly. Like I said, In the Shed podcast wouldn't be happening without the support of the In the Shed podcast. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. So keep this boat afloat. Jesus Christ, who wrote these notes? Well, back to your scheduled programming. Boom. All right, we're back from that. What were we on about? I kind of got distracted by the camera angles, and I don't even remember where we were going at. I think we were talking about books. I read this book last year. It might be my new favorite book. Don't Believe Everything You Think. Yeah, catchy title. This book kind of opened many doors for me because I kind of started to see anxiety as something differently, something that kind of maybe we're choosing to live in. And that may sound crazy. How am I choosing to live anxiously? How am I choosing to live in a constant state of fear or suffering? But ask yourself this. Next time you're anxious, ask yourself this. Am I thinking or am I living in a thought? Interesting, right? Because if I tell you I'm going to go to the gym later tonight, that's my original thought. And if you walk away from me and go home, you're going to think that guy's great. He went to the gym and yeah, he's working on himself. But let's say you go that way, I go this way, and I start thinking about it. And I'm like, well, I have to get out of here in a couple hours. Then I got to go stop by my parents' house. Maybe I have to go to the supermarket, do a couple things. And I get in my head and I start thinking about it. And don't end up going to the gym. I'm tired. I'm busy. I have too many things I'm worried about. And I got in my head. Now, switch that with a situation where you're waiting on results on an exam for your medical health. And you're anxiously, patiently waiting on it. But life and your day, it's still going. It hasn't stopped. So while you sit there and you constantly think about it, everything else is still ticking. The clock is still ticking. why not continue with your life and improve and everything else while you still wait for your results and exit out of that state of anxiousness? It doesn't sound easy, and it's not easy, but it's doable. And at the end of the day, easy is not a real thing. Easier for someone, it's a real thing. Nothing in life is easy. Everything in life is hard, but it may be easier for someone to do. So just let's all transform ourselves to become that person that can do a lot of things easier. Just something to think about, you know? Dwell on that for a second. We could get back to that in a couple weeks. Maybe we'll talk about this next week again, but think about it for a second. And I know thinking may lead you to be anxious, but think about it for a second. Anyways, what was I talking about before the books? Was I even talking about anything? Anyways, what's your guys' favorite restaurant? I went to Casa del Campo the other day, which is great. I love Casa del Campo, but it's also Dominican food, and I'm Dominican, so it's kind of like what my mom already cooks, and she gets really mad when I go out and buy like bodega food or Dominican food, because she's like, it's literally what I cooked yesterday. Food for thought, no pun intended. Anyway, did I even introduce myself when we started? This is Hanser. I'm Hanser. I'm H1. And that's what I go by the streets. Or you could call me Hanser Prancer Lancer. I do not dance. I'm not a dancer. And I also hate cancer. So join me on that one. I don't even know you could see my tap there. But you know, it's for another time. I'll show you guys another day. Anyways, I'm trying to think if I have anything else for you guys before I let you go for this week. And don't worry, don't miss me too much. We'll be here every week, so don't worry about that one. I think that's all I got. I'm sure a lot of things, as soon as I hit end recording, a lot of things are gonna come to my head. And I hope you guys are okay with the angle, because I feel like it looks a little crooked, but I'll work on it. There's some lights flickering right now. I'm still gonna work on that. These auto lights are on. Excuse my French, a lot of stuttering. Jesus Christ. Maybe I need a hydration break. Excuse me. Excuse me. Don't forget to hydrate. Very important. With summer days coming, it's getting hotter out. It's springtime right now. But keep hydrated. Get some vitamin D in you. And you know, what pal? I'll catch you guys next week. Boom.